Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Elise, and this is Well Read Kinda. And today I am going to go through all the books that I read in August. There was a book that I did not finish. 4 of the books from my TBR I did not read. I finished 3 books that were on my TBR, including an arc. Um, and then I think my total ended up being 9. So, without further ado, we will jump right in. I will actually start with the book that I DNF'd, and this was a prompt that was the what is the longest book on your TBR? So I had The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I really, really, really wanted to like this book. However, I could not. I started reading it. I was very confused about all the characters and the language. Um, so I then switched to the audiobook to see if that would be a better fit. And it was not. I just couldn't. I don't know if it was the narrator in general or if it was still just the story. And then I tried to immersive read it, which, was listening and reading at the same time. And I still couldn't get into it. So I decided to put it down because I didn't want to struggle, finishing something that I was not already liking from the beginning. So I DNF'd it for now. I'm not saying that I won't ever pick it up and read it again. And it could be too that it just wasn't something that I was in the mood to read. So we'll say it is a soft DNF. So I ended up picking up the next longest book on my TBR, which is Blood and Betrayals by Jeanette Rose and Alexis Rune. This is the first book in the Avalon University series. I know the next book comes out next year. I'm not sure how many books are going to be in this series, but in Blood and Betrayals, we are following our female main character, Summer, who ends up at Avalon University because someone applied for her on her behalf. She is thankful for the opportunity to get to go to Avalon University because she is running from someone in her past and feels that she will be safe in this university setting. Summer is a lover of learning, so obviously she's grateful for the opportunity to get to learn at this prestigious university. We learn that Summer has not had the greatest childhood and has always searched for belonging and acceptance, not just from others around her, but also accepting herself for who and what she is. Summer is of the Fae species, and for as long as she can remember, she's always suppressed that side of her, and kind of has a negative reaction when she is around other Fae. So the book opens up with this gruesome scene of a murder. And we soon learn that these murders will become part of Summer's story, and we follow along with her and other characters as she tries to uncover who or what is behind these Fae students who keep being found murdered. There's romance in this story. There is found family, which is absolutely heartwarming, and Summer's progression throughout the book I absolutely loved. The ending made me mad because it ended on a cliffhanger that if the second book were already out, I would have picked it up immediately and started reading. I ended up rating this book 4 stars. I will be continuing it, and I'm excited to see how Summer's story plays out, if we learn more about her past, if she doesn't really know like the extent of her power. So it'll be interesting to see in the next book if they explore more of that. So I'll be interested to see that as well. So then the next book that I actually did read that was on my TBR was The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Khaw. This is a horror / dark fantasy. It is about a cursed library. There's unsettling creatures, and you also descend into the uncanny. It is eerie, it is violent, and surreal. And just how Cassandra like writes the characters in here, and how she writes the setting of the library, you actually feel like you're there. Her writing is beautiful, and this book just packs a punch that you don't really expect when you go into it. It is definitely perfect if you like horror that's weird and unsettling. I was kind of confused at times because I didn't know what was going on, but all in all, this book is great for the spooky season that we are about to embark on, and I really enjoyed how the story all came together and the dynamics that you see between the characters as they are navigating this library and this scenario that they find themselves in. I would definitely recommend this. I believe I gave this book 4 stars. If I can remember correctly, I think it was 4 stars. So probably a book that I would actually reread. I'm not a big rereader, but I would probably definitely reread this book. And I also immersive read this. So I read the physical book as I was listening, and I really enjoyed the narration of the audiobook. Highly recommend that. Okay. And then coming up on the books that were not on my TBR, but just so happened that, I picked them up and started reading. A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. The reason that I ended up reading this book is because my hold from Libby finally came in for the audiobook. So I, had to take advantage of that and listen to it. So I immersive read this book. Really enjoyed the narrator of the audiobook. I enjoyed the Norse-inspired vibes of this book. So we are following Freya, who is a shield maiden, and she is blessed. She is blessed by blood of the gods, and she becomes caught in like this prophecy that has been foreseen, politics of the land she lives in, and a marriage of convenience that turns into slow burn passion. So there's, battles in here, there's betrayals, and the banter of Feyre and her love interest in this book is at some points humorous. So there was a healthy mix of storytelling and romance. It wasn't all like romance filled. You do get that action and adventure with the journey that they are on. She is a strong heroine. There is tension, kind of with the forbidden romance with the person that she likes. It's not who you think it is, but it is definitely a fun read. Definitely if you're in the romanticy mood, I would definitely pick it up. It's a good read. Sorry that I keep like flopping the book around. I talk with my hands a lot, so I apologize. Yes, I rated this one, I think 4.5, maybe 4 or 4.5, I think, is what I rated it. I'm definitely going to finish the duology. I just haven't picked up the second book yet. So I will be continuing this. Can't wait to see how the story progresses in the next book. The last few books that I am going to talk about were strictly audiobooks that I listened to. So I listened to The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, however you say his name. This is a dark academia thriller. It is about a group therapist who is grieving the death of her husband. She went to school where she lives. Her niece is now going there. And she becomes convinced that a professor at Cambridge is murdering his students. So there's a lot of like secret society vibes, Greek tragedy references, and obviously academia vibes, because most of it is set in the collegiate setting at Cambridge. So it had Gothic campuses. It had secret rituals. I did really like the atmospheric setting of this book. There were at times I thought I knew what was going, like who it was who was murdering these students. And then the book would like take a turn and make you think it was somebody else, and then it would come back. So I can't remember how the story ends, but I do remember it like lacking something for me. I can't think off the top of my head what it was that it was lacking for me. I just kind of felt like there could have been more. So I believe I gave this one a 3.5. So I was on Hoopla and I was just, searching for books to listen to. I was like, I need a good book to listen to. None of the ones that I had on my TBR were doing it for me. And so I stumbled across this series. It's called The Demon Queen Trials, and it's by C.N. Crawford. You might know her better through her the Fae Spy Academy series that I have seen all over Bookstagram and BookTube. But this was the first series that I had ever read by her, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's in an urban setting, so it's an urban fantasy, and it's like a paranormal romance. So we're following our main character, Rowan. She gets dragged into the underworld where demons rule, and to survive, she has to outwit and outfight her way through these deadly trials that she somehow got herself caught into. And there is a demon prince who is like lurking on the sidelines, just watching how all of this is going to play out. So there's dark magic, there's court intrigue, and there's also like enemies to lovers tension. So if you're into that, this series is great for that. It was fast paced. I was so addicted to the story and the characters. I needed to know how it ended up. The oh my goodness, what word am I thinking about? Like the steaminess of the romance was just enough. The trials that Rowan has to partake in kept the plot moving. The banter between Rowan and this dark prince whose name is Orion, which it brought me, as soon as Orion came up, I thought of Zodiac Academy, but not the same person. And the romance definitely gave you enemies to lovers angst that we all know and love in that trope. So this is a perfect series if you like quick, bingeable paranormal fantasy. And after I finished this series, I immediately went and ordered the Fae Spy series by C.N. Crawford. And I also put some of her other backlist books on my TBR as well. So can't say enough good things about this series. I really enjoyed it. I think I rated this 4.75, just because of all the feels it gave me and how quickly like I wanted to consume the books after I read the first one. So definitely love it. And it was dual narration too in the audiobook. Really enjoy a dual narration. And then I read A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I started out wanting to immersive read this, but I was just so drawn in to this audiobook because of the narrator. I don't know, her voice is just like butter. It's magic. It drew me into this story. The narrator's name is Abby Creighton, so I would probably listen to anything that she narrates. But A Dowry of Blood is a gothic horror, and it's a retelling of Dracula through his wife, Constanza, is what he ended up naming her. And throughout this book, she's recounting her centuries long toxic, obsessive relationship with her husband, Dracula. I absolutely loved this book. The writing, it was intimate, it was haunting the way that S.T. Gibson described her life with Dracula. And it reads like a love letter and a confession about like all her thoughts that she was thinking during this time with Dracula, all at the same time. It is not plot heavy. You don't get a lot of like the backstory, but it is more character driven, which I tend to like in some of my books, especially in a book like this. It's gothic. It has toxic vibes, and it just like I have not stopped thinking about this book since I listened to it, and I loved it so much that I needed a trophy copy. Besides this one, I actually wanted a special edition copy, so I searched high and low and I found one on Pango, which will hopefully be here in the next few days. So I would have to say, I mean, I gave this book 5 stars, obviously, but so far this year, it's probably one of my favorite reads of 2025. And I didn't think it was going to be. I've heard a lot of people talk about this book and how much they love it. And I was like, okay, it's just another retelling of Dracula through his wife's point of view. But it's so good. And I will recommend it to everybody. Loved it. So, yeah, I can't wait for my special edition copy to come in. Hopefully someday when I, get a library of my own, I will be able to display it. So yeah, I can't wait to see what it looks like, because pictures only show you so much. So I can't wait to see what it looks like in person. So super excited for that. So thank you all for joining me today for my August wrap up. I truly appreciate you being here. I hope you had as much fun listening to me ramble on about the books that I read in August as I did sharing it with you. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what book has been on your August TBR that you loved the most. I would love to check it out. So thank you all for being here again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.